So you've all seen the agenda. We've got a few sort of formalities to go through, which we have to do every year. And then I'd obviously like Eric to spend some time talking about what we're going to be doing ongoing to continue to build this great organization, the Mad River Valley Chamber of Commerce. So I'd just like to say a few general words of introduction before we get into the formal agenda. Can you hear me okay, Laurie? Okay, great. You know, Eric put this in the note he just sent out last night. You probably saw it. But we really now are into the third year of what's been a very exciting renewal for the Chamber. As you may recollect, Jasmine joined us 3 years ago at this same meeting, annual meeting 3 years ago, and really helped the board and our members get a real focus on what the Chamber is all about. And I think really got us back to the basics, you know, of marketing, helping our members, and has put together a strong strategic plan, and the board has really rallied around that. And as you know, we then made a big transition to really ensure that we were delivering value to our members. So we now have come up with a model where your membership is based on the benefits that you want to get from the Chamber, as opposed to just paying so much because of the organization is what it is. And I think that's been extremely well received and has allowed us to, I think, have a much better relationship with our members. And we were delighted that Jasmine stayed with us for 2 3/4 years and did a great job. And she is now, by the way, being very successful in her new flower business up in Waterbury. I encourage you to go up and visit her. She's just opposite the Green Mountain coffee shop up there.
Is she a chamber member?
She is, I'm not sure if she's joined yet.
I stopped by to visit her the other day.
Yeah, but
She's still laughing.
yeah. But I think we. Yeah, I think we'll try and get her to be a member. She's certainly done a few events here in the Mad River Valley, so she should be a member, right? And then.
She's about 9 months pregnant.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true as well. Yeah. I think November is, I think, when her baby is due. Anyway, moving on. And of course, I'm absolutely delighted that Eric Friedman accepted our offer to be our incoming executive director. He started almost exactly 3 months ago today. And he's brought a tremendous amount of energy to the job, as I'm sure you all know. He brought a tremendous amount of energy to his previous job and has really, I think, built on that relationship that he has with the Mad River Valley and his passion for the Mad River Valley to continue the great work of the Chamber. And I'll hear more from Eric later this evening, but I'm certainly delighted to be working with Eric, and the board is as well. So moving back to the agenda for this evening, a couple of formal items. The first item is to approve the minutes of last year's meeting, which were distributed on the website. Does anyone have any questions about the minutes from last year's meeting? Would someone like to move the minutes be adopted as published?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you very much. Kurt moved. Marie seconded. All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. So the minutes are approved. That was easy. The next item is the budget for the coming year. That was also put on the website, and there were a few copies made available at the front desk. So I'd just like to say a few words about the budget. The intent of the budget is twofold. Is number one, we've got a reasonably conservative budget. The intent is to have a balanced budget. I think we're aiming for about $1,000 surplus for the year. That does make the assumption that we are going to build our memberships, continue to build our memberships, which Eric is very focused on doing and has already made some real progress on that, because we do want to continue to invest in benefits for our members and marketing the Valley. But our objective, we hope, is to in fact exceed that so we can put more resources into helping our members and helping the Valley. So that is the objective Eric has, but we wanted to start with a conservative plan. So that's what you see in the budget. Just briefly talking about last year, we didn't quite meet our revenue for last year. I think we ended up at $5,000 less than we originally anticipated, which was relatively close. It was a bit of a stretch budget as well. So I think we're making good progress. We still have the benefit of some reserves which we can tap into, but this year certainly we hope to be even stronger shape as we go through the year. The budget doesn't have to be formally approved by the members. It's basically adopted by the board, but if anyone has any questions about the budget, it'd be a good time to entertain those now. Seeing none, we will move on. Kurt?
Peter, I just have a quick question.
Yep.
It looks like in the past, and I know the number was even higher than in terms of event grants.
Yes.
Is that a conscious decision to move away from?
Yes. So basically on event grants, we've been phasing it out over the last few years. We originally had a lot more money available for event grants when we had the CSP program. And as you know, that disappeared some years ago. And we moved to another program, the MRV ME, Mad River Valley Events. And that didn't really quite work out, so we phased that out as we brought in a new membership model. And we decided that rather than put money into events, we're here as a partner, as a chamber, to help market events. So that's what we're going to be doing ongoing, is working with those that want to do events or are doing events in the Valley to help them make them as successful as possible. But right now, we do not have the financial resources to actually write checks. So that's the plan for going forward. Yeah. Love to be able to write more checks, but we can't do that just yet. Any other questions about the budget? Okay, I would like to move on to the next item, which is a minor change to the bylaws. The bylaws do have to be approved here at an annual meeting. They were published on the website. We published this time a marked up version so you could see what was changed. The only real significant change in the proposed updated is to give us the flexibility to back up to 12 members. We'd advised a few years ago to have a maximum of 11 members, and we thought we should have the flexibility to go back up to around a dozen. So that is a major change, is to have the ability to add a 12th member. We are not tonight, by the way, going to nominate a 12th member. We're going to leave that open as an opportunity in the coming year. If the board wishes to adopt another member, they can do that. So we're still going to run with the 11 members. That's the next later item on the agenda. We also took the opportunity to do a few other minor cleanups. There were some wording issues in the bylaws. We updated them a little bit to conform with how we're currently operating in terms of how the board is structured. But these were mainly cleanup items as opposed to any significant changes. So are there any questions on the revised bylaws? Would someone like to move the bylaws be adopted as published?
So moved.
Thank you, Laurie. Would someone like to second that? Seconded at the back. Thank you very much. All in favor? Aye. Okay, that was good. Thank you very much indeed. Appreciate your help with that. So the next one are the nominations for the board of directors and officers. Go through this fairly quickly because I really want to get to Eric's presentation. So what we are doing for the board is we're basically all the existing board members who are up for renewal are open for re-election with one exception, and that is Roger Nishi, who's been our board member for the last 6 years, and I think a board member before that in previous terms. He's our outgoing treasurer. He is now termed out. We very much appreciate all the great work that Roger has done. Just as an aside, one of the things we've been doing for the last year and a half is getting our finances in the chamber reorganized from a management and bookkeeping point of view. So it's now a lot more straightforward than it has been. We previously had 2 different systems, QuickBooks and FreshBooks. QuickBooks for tracking expenses, FreshBooks for sending out invoices and so on. And it was getting very complicated. We now have one system, QuickBooks, and it's very easy. So that's really allowed us to do reports, know where we're at, etc. And appreciate Roger's stewardship of that effort. So again, thank you to Roger. Unfortunately, Roger's not able to join us. He's had a death in the family, so we pass our condolences to him. He's out in the West Coast. We are delighted that Chris, where's Chris? Where is he? Can't see him. Chris, great. So Chris Merchant is nominated for election to the board. It's been our tradition to always have a representative of Waitsfield Tell and of Sugarbush. So Chris Merchant is our nominee to replace Roger. The other board member who's stepping down, although not terming out, is Ted from Sugarbush. Sorry. Ted has been with us, I think, for 4 years. And his work schedule is such that it was a bit difficult for him to participate actively in a lot of the board meetings. So Diane, where's Diane? Thank you, Diane, has been very kindly sitting in for Ted for several of the meetings over the last year. And in cooperation with Wynne and the Sugarbush team, we're delighted to nominate Diane to, in fact, replace Ted's role on the board for the coming year. So these are the only changes for actual board members. So that constitutes 11 in total. There's a couple of people whose terms are renewing. One slight anomaly, which you may or may not remember, is that when I stood up here last year, I was going to be terming out tonight, but the board twisted my arm to stay on for an additional year.
Sorry.
Thank you, Eric.
Is he the chosen one?
Yeah. One of the things that we did in the bylaw changes back in 2016, those of you who have long memories, is we realized that board transition and continuity was very important. So we did give the board the ability to change by at least 1 year the term of any board member to manage transition. So the board used that to persuade me to stay on for an extra year. So I'm continuing as chair for one more year. However, as part of that overall plan for continuity, we added a new position to the board, which has not yet been filled, but it will be filled tonight, and that's the position of vice chair. And the role of vice chair is to do two things. Is number one is to obviously help the chair in the board and the executive committee through the year, but number two is to be the incoming chair elect. And we decided that this was a very effective, we discussed this at previous meeting, but a very effective way to ensure continuity for the board is to give the incoming chair an opportunity to be an understudy, if you like, rather than suddenly have a flash transition when somebody left and somebody else came in. So I'm delighted that Anna Dan is nominated to be the vice chair for the board. So we'll look for approval for her role. And replacing Roger as treasurer, we're delighted that Mimi, where's Mimi? There you are, is going to take over as treasurer. And we have hopefully made the job easier than it was as a result of the great work that Roger has done to get the whole bookkeeping better organized. And Jack Sherry, who I don't believe is able to be here this evening, is continuing in the role of secretary. So the officers therefore are myself as chair, Anna as vice chair, Jack as secretary, and Mimi as treasurer, as the officers of the board. So we'd like to nominate everything I just said. Would someone like to move that slate of board members and officers for election?
I would.
Thank you, Susan. Anyone else like to second that? Seconded by June? Okay, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Any dissent? Wow, excellent. Thank you very much indeed. Appreciate that. And I'd like to thank all of the board. The board has been really supportive this last year. Obviously, our biggest challenge was finding our new executive director, which has worked out extremely well. So we're delighted that was such a great transition for us. Gave us a little bit of apprehension, as you might imagine, when Jasmine said that she needed to move on. But I think it's going to work out extremely well. And again, my thanks to both the existing board members, to Roger, and also to our two new board members. Welcome on board. So with that, we're now going to move to the interesting part of the evening, which is an update from... You still here, Eric? Yeah. Update from Eric. I'm going to pass the mic to Eric.
All right, Eric.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming, first of all. I'd like to thank the folks from American Flatbread for hosting us in this great place. I'd also like to thank our board. I hope you guys all appreciate how much work and effort and courage that they have shown in the last few years to do what they've done in reinventing this organization. I was aware, I mean, even being a member at Mad River, I was not quite aware what they were all up to. And as I came on board, I was really, really impressed. And you guys should be really glad that you have the board that you have. And Peter's done a lot of work, and we have new people coming in, which is really great. And that's the sign of a healthy organization. So I really appreciate what the board has done, and for having the trust in hiring me for this. So I really appreciate this. It's been an interesting thing. I'd also like to thank Jasmine and Ginger especially. Jasmine and Ginger have done a ton of work the last couple of years and have set me up to come into this so beautifully. And Ginger has been awesome. She has made this transition so much easier, yeah. And she's keeping me in line. I was gonna wear shorts and she told me not to wear shorts, and so I'm trying, she's trying. She's doing the best she can. And most importantly, I'd like to thank all of our members for the support. We could not do what we do without the support of our members. So thank you very much. And hopefully next year there'll be lots more of us, which is really good. Before I get into the chamber, I kind of like to talk a little bit about me.
Shocking.
Yeah, right? Most of you, I know most of the people in here, and as you're well aware, I worked at Mad River as the marketing director for over 20 years. And I really, really fortunate to have that job. I always felt like I was the luckiest boy in the world to have that job. I felt like I was like the groundskeeper at Yankee Stadium. Sorry, Red Sox fans. But I really was very fortunate. And after that many years, it was kind of getting boring. It didn't feel like my heart was in it the way that it always was. And I really was looking for something new and challenging. And I've been looking around in the ski business and never really found anything. And then Roger Nishi calls me up in, I don't know, March or April, whenever the heck it was, and he's like, hey, you know, I want you to take a look at this job description and see if you might know anybody. And I looked at it and I laughed and I said, I'm like, wow, they really changed this job around. This wouldn't be such a bad gig. And he's like, really? And then a couple of weeks later, he calls me back and kind of made an offer. And it's like, oh, this is really interesting. So I'm sort of shocked that it didn't shock me that I was interested, but it shocked me that I actually pulled the trigger on it, because it was really hard to leave a place. That Mad-River Glen is family for me. And it was really hard to leave, and we've accomplished a great deal up there. And then when I started thinking about it, and my wife and I went away on vacation, and we were really thinking about it, and the more I thought about it, I was like, this is such a great opportunity to start promoting the whole valley and not just Mad River. And this is my home. My kids grew up here. They don't live here anymore, unfortunately. But this place is home to me, and it's really, really important to me. And I feel like if I can do a little bit of what I, for the valley generally, for what I was able to do for Mad River over the years, I thought it would be a good thing for me, it would be a good thing for my family, and it would be a good thing, hopefully, for the valley. So hopefully that will all work out. Interestingly, my son was home visiting today. He's been the last couple of weeks. My son Ben was home, yes. He looks a lot like Chris, which is weird. Just saying. And I brought him here today because I wanted to take a look at this venue for this meeting. So I dragged him in here, and he was with his girlfriend, who grew up in Seattle, and never really been to too many small towns in her life. And I brought her in here, and didn't really think much about it. But she came in here, and when we left, she was like, "This is a really special place." I'm like, yeah, it is. It's flatbread. It's really cool. The barn's really cool. But I stepped back. Like, she really appreciated it. This is a very worldly woman. She's 25 years old. She's been all over the world, and like, she appreciated this, and she appreciated the artwork, and she appreciated the way it was set up. And it's like, okay, this is cool. Like, this is different. This is special. And I think we sometimes lose sight of that. And I think when you have visitors coming in, and this is not the sort of thing that you see in a lot of places. So. I think that it was really indicative of what this job for me and how I view this job is, that we really need to promote. We have great stories, we have great people, we have interesting things going on and unique things going on, and it's a matter of telling those stories, and people will beat a path to our door here if we can tell those stories well. So I'm really excited about starting out here in the chamber, and as I said, it's been about 3 months now. And one of the things that I've noticed in the start since I've been doing this is that there is a ton of positive momentum in this community. And I've lived here for over 30 years, and I've seen the ups and downs over the years. And there's new businesses starting all over the place. Obvious ones like Lawson's, everyone notices that. But there's a lot of other ones. And Collaborative Brewing, Cousins Brewing, Silverfish, Sugarfish, Aloha Massage, Toast and Eggs. These are just a few off the top of my head, all right? Also, seeing existing businesses that are investing in their businesses, investing in the community. Big company like Kingsbury's that's been around for a long time, starting a septic business, a whole new side light to their business, which is really, really cool. Bourne's Energy, big supporter of the chamber. They're really going all in on the Mad River Valley. They're really making a huge effort to be part of this community, and they're investing in this, which is really, really cool. The other thing that I've noticed over the last couple of months, and I've noticed it for years, but I never really thought about it because it wasn't my job. But now that I'm like, oh wow, this is a really big deal. How many people work here and live here that live here and work here that are working from home? They're working remotely. They're working. They're coding. They're doing whatever the heck they're doing. You don't even know what these people are doing, right? It's like, and yeah, Chris knows. The phone company. That who these people are. It's amazing, and there's tons of them, and they're growing. There's more and more of them all the time, and they have a huge impact on our economy. And I think that's a big opportunity for the chamber, because I think that there's some potential for growth in that regard. So things are looking up around here. One of the other things that I've noticed, and I'm really proud of this, is the fact that this community is more unified than it's ever been. And let me take one step back. One of the people might not realize, I was on the board of this organization for 12 years. And I was the marketing person for main marketing chair for 6 of them, something like that, right, Susan? And one of the things that we were able to do is, one, we changed the name from Sugarbush Chamber to Mad River Valley Chamber, and we developed the logo, which has been altered a little bit over time, but it's basically been the same, message that we've been saying for a long time now, more than 15 years, right, Susan? And what is awesome is the fact that we invested in that logo, and 20 years later, 15, 20 years later, it is being used widely. Towns are using it, the planning district is using it, businesses are using it. I strongly encourage you to use it. And I hate bringing up the S word, but when you go up to Stowe, everyone uses it. Everyone, theirs, not ours. And everyone uses it, and there's a damn good reason why they use it,
And Rotary's using it.
And well, just let me, way to jump in there. Thanks. And what I was going to say, and I wanted to relate a little story, because when I was involved with this, and so that logo was the gift of the chamber way back when to this community, and it's awesome to see it being used. When I took this job, one of the first things I thought of, and I thought of you, Susan, I was like, man, we need this. We never had a good sense of place here. We should have signs coming into the valley that say, "Welcome to the Mad River Valley," wherever the hell that starts, and we should do that. And I'm like, that was one of my big goals. And then. Oh yeah. So 3 days in, I get a phone call, and it's some guy from the road. I don't even know who the hell it was. And he says, he's like, "Hey, I want you to take a look at this email to make sure that the signs we're doing are okay with you." So I open up the email, and there's this beautiful signs by Wooden Woods making them, right? And "Welcome to the Mad River Valley." I'm like, oh my God! And they're going to go on either end of town in this fall, right? They're going to be going on either end of town. And I was like, and I didn't have to do anything, right? Thank you, Rotary. But what's awesome about that is the Rotary they saw the value in that, and they saw the need for the community, and it's really awesome that they did. And it's a work that a lot of people did a long time ago. It's still bearing fruit, and that makes me feel really good. So when I come back here, and the work that we did years and years ago is still paying off, which is good. And it's continuity, and doing the same thing for year after year after year is what works. There's no silver bullets here. Yeah, so that's where we're at with in terms of the chamber, the logo, and that sense of unity, which I really see. We've talked a lot about the foundation that has been laid by the board in the last 3 years, with Jasmine and Ginger and the board, and hiring a consultant to really reimagine this organization. This is chambers of commerce in a lot of places are a thing of the past, and if we didn't change and alter what we do, we really run the risk of becoming irrelevant. And they acted decisively. And we're really, really fortunate for that. So they said that foundation's there. They have a great strategic plan that they put in place that's really easy to follow. There's a new membership investment structure, which I think most everyone is aware of. Most chambers of commerce over the years, you paid your dues based on your revenue or number of employees or number of beds or number of chairs in your restaurant, whatever it was. And everyone got the same benefit, no matter how much you paid. This consultant that they hired came in and said, that's a crazy way to look at it, because all you're doing is you're encouraging people to lie to you and not tell you how many people they have working for you and what their revenue is, and you're also discouraging them in growing. I'm like, yeah, I never really thought about that, but that's kind of crazy. So this new structure is everyone has a different view of what the chamber is, why it's meaningful to you. And you can pick and choose where you want to go. And it's really been valuable. And it was a leap of faith for the board and for Jasmine and for Ginger, is to say okay, we're going to do this, because a lot of people could have said, I'm going to go that bottom green circle level, and that's what we're going to do. And that's a scary thing, to jump off that cliff. And lo and behold, when they did this and they transitioned people out, the vast majority of the people either stayed put or moved up in their investment. So that was a really, really important thing. And again, I just want to reiterate that it took a tremendous amount of courage on your part to do that. And And I'm not, as a former board member, I'm not so sure I would have been like, it would have been scary. So I totally appreciate where you guys came through and what, how you came to that decision. So now that brings us to today. So almost 3 years in, as Peter said. So we have this great foundation laid, and I think we're really poised to take advantage of it. So in the last 3 months, I've been really trying to get out, and Ginger and I have been getting out to a lot of the local businesses. We have about 150-ish members, and I think we've been to see well over 100 of them, plus non-members as well. So we're getting out there. We're putting a huge focus on new members. And in the last 2 months or so, we have new members coming on the store, Local Folks Smokehouse, Aloha Massage, 40 Bridge, Willem Jewett, the attorney. And is Joshua here? Is Joshua Schwartz here? No? And we gave, and I hope you guys are all okay with this, we gave away a membership to Noah's Fizzy Lemonade. And we wanted to do that. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's Joshua Schwartz's son, and he has a really cool business, and I see this as an opportunity, as a student membership, to really make some inroads and with younger people, because we really need to get young people, and there's some young entrepreneurs out there. I was really shocked to learn that FBLA does not exist at Harwood, but I want to try to make some connections with Harwood and get some young people, interns and things, to add some new life to this place and get some good ideas coming in. So we're really excited about that, so with the new members, which is really cool. Existing members are seeing the value in the chamber, and they're investing more. We're seeing businesses like Bourne's Energy, The Bridges, Mad River Barn, 1824 House, that are expanding what they've been doing in their investment in the community. I'm going to embarrass you. The new members of the 1824 House are right here. Say, Sean and Farrell. And they're really exciting. Like I said, they're dragging the median age down around here. This is good, like nice work. So like I said, there's a lot of positive momentum going on around here. I mentioned the strategic plan, and I encourage you to go and we could look at it online and you can see what's there. But basically, there's 3 platforms that we're working on. It's destination marketing, brand equity, and unity. The destination marketing, we just want a really well-coordinated multi-platform campaign for the Mad River Valley. We're using we want to work smart and efficiently. We want to be using our social media, our website, our email updates, our print, our other digital, that we want to use that in a well-coordinated way, and that's what we're really trying to do. Brand equity, what I was talking about is that logo and that we're using it. More and more folks are using it. I beg you, if I can get you guys to do one thing after this meeting, if you can go back to your web people and put that logo with a link to the chamber on your website, please. It is good for you and it's good for us. And it's good for your search engine optimization, and it's good for ours. It adds credibility to both of our websites, and it's the easiest thing that we can do. And unity. What we're talking about is just working together. The logo is a really good example of this. The Norwich 200 thing is a really interesting example of what I'm trying to get at in terms of this unity. How many people here are aware that Norwich is having their bicentennial? Okay, hopefully you've heard about it through our email updates that Monday morning, most every Mondays. You're getting them. Sorry, that was my bad yesterday. What we're trying to do with this is using this Norwich bicentennial as kind of a beta test of what we're trying to do in terms of unifying the various business sectors. Because of the fact they have 8,000 people coming to that for the bicentennial, staying over Norwich. They're filling up this entire valley. They've had it filled up for over a year. So there's a couple of thousand people that are going to be coming over here and spending a lot of time here. How do we take advantage of that? We need to make some offers to them. We need to make them aware of what's going on. We need to welcome them here. So what we're trying to do is we created a MadRiverValley.com/Norwich200 website, which, welcome to the Mad River Valley. We're super glad you're here. These are the things that are going on here. These are special offers that various businesses are offering to you. I encourage you, it's a growing list. The idea is that the innkeepers will send that out
to the people that are coming a week in advance of when they're coming, saying, hey, glad you're coming. We're really excited to have you. And by the way, this is all the great stuff that's going on here. Click on this link. That's going to hopefully drive restaurant business. It's hopefully going to drive retail business. And also, most importantly, show people a good time. Make it welcoming. Make them come back. These people have a connection with this place for whatever reason. And a lot of them skied here. A lot of them came here for whatever reason. They want to keep coming back here. We have a good opportunity to make a good impression on these people. The other thing that's really important about this is, again, doing that, having that web page, supporting it with social media, supporting it with public relations. There's other things that we can do to just make that all kind of work if we all work together. Little things like using that Norwich 200 hashtag, using the various hashtags that we're trying to train all of our people in this valley, in the business community, to use the same hashtags, to be consistent with it, so that it's good for everybody. And that's what I'm talking about, how we're trying to do things in terms of unity. None of this stuff that I'm talking about is earth-shattering, okay? This is not like marketing genius stuff, okay? This is really basic things. Our budget is such, you saw the numbers in that budget, there's not a lot of marketing dollars out there. We do the basics here. That's really all we can afford to do. The upside of that is I have a tremendous amount of experience working without budgets. Right, Win? So I'm trying to do a lot of what we did at Mad River in terms of doing things on the cheap and doing things on the fly and being super creative. And I hate saying the out-of-the-box thing, but it's like, that's what we need to be doing. It's not, like I said earlier, it's not silver bullets. It's offering a good experience over time, over and over and over again. And if we can keep doing that and providing a good experience for people, people will come back and people will come here and people will talk about it. This is a different place. This is a special place. There aren't places like this. And there's not many places like this. And we just need to tell those stories and do it well. One of the things that we're working on with the website, our website is really a work in progress. They did a lot of work to get that thing better than it was, but it really still needs a lot of help. We want to make it more inviting, more compelling, better content, more compelling content, original content. That's the sort of things that we really want to be working on. And again, the integration of the various marketing platforms is really, really important. Public relations is huge, and that was my stock and trade at Mad River. I want to continue that here. I want to work really closely with John Blay over at Sugarbush and with Matt over at Mad River. VDTM, we've had some great stuff with VDTM just this summer, going over to the Bundy. We had 7 German bloggers, and I know it sounds weird, but it's like that's the people that you really want, and that was really good, valuable stuff. I'm pointing to these guys because they were the ones that really helped set it up. But such valuable stuff, and like that, it was up. It was really, really cool. So we have limited resources, and the thing for us is we need to be smart, we need to be nimble, and we need to be efficient, and that's what we're trying to do with our marketing effort. The other key thing is growing membership. If we are going to do any more than the very basics that we do, we have to grow our membership. We just have to. And if we can do that, what I'm hoping to be able to do is, again, not earth-shattering stuff. I want more video content. I want to focus on niche markets that we can target and market to, that'll fill up in the valleys, not the valleys of midweek and the shoulder seasons and things like that. The ski weekends, when the skiing's good, those weekends take care of themselves. The weddings take care of themselves. It's filling in the holes and helping the retailers and helping the restaurants be viable year-round. Another thing I'd like to do, and this is not earth-shattering stuff. I don't know if it's true, people, but I've heard a couple hours north of here, there's a big city with a lot of people that speak French, right? We don't have a French website. We are not welcoming to French Canadians here. And I know it's expensive for them to come down here. It's a 25% tax for them to come down here. But it's really good to go up there, though. But we're not welcoming to them. You go to the Northeast Kingdom, you go to Stowe, there's a lot of French Canadians there. We're not inviting them here. We need to do that. And that's, again, it's not
nutty stuff that we're trying to do. It's really basic sorts of things, and those are the sorts of things, if we can raise the membership level up a little bit, those are the sorts of things that I'd like to see us to do. I'm going to finish by asking for your help, because I cannot do this myself, and Ginger and I cannot do this alone. We need you. We need you to talk up the chamber in a positive way to the community. We need you to let people know, if you hear people talking shit about the chamber, you set them straight, or you tell them to talk to me. Because this organization has had its ups and downs, and there are a lot of people. If I had $1 for every time someone said, "Oh, you lost the horse show," right? Like really? No, we didn't.
Wasn't even in this century.
No, it wasn't. But Susan, we were there, and we didn't lose it. We didn't lose it. For the record, we didn't lose the horse show. So, you know, again, it's if you hear people, we're not going to change this overnight. We're not going to change that mindset overnight. But I need everyone's help. If someone is speaking ill of the chamber, or there's something people bitching about it, or they just don't know, let me know. You guys need to be my eyes and ears. There's only 2 of us in that office, and we're running around like crazy. And it's really, really important to just let us know if there's something up. Talking up to colleagues, if you're a restaurant owner, or you're a lodge owner, or if you're a realtor, or whatever you are, and you know that there's a member, you know, there's someone in your sector that's not a chamber member, call them out. It should be socially unacceptable to not be a member of the Chamber of Commerce in this business community. It should be. You should be embarrassed if you're not, because you're benefiting from our work. If this community didn't have our website, and if this community didn't have that visitors center, we would be like Roxbury or Granville. I mean, and not to be disparaging, but no one's inviting them there. No one's inviting people to go to Roxbury. No one's inviting people to go to Granville. We're trying to invite people here. And if we don't have that website, and we don't have that visitor center, which I know it sounds like the most basic thing, and it is the most basic thing, but it's really, really important that it's there. And that does not come for free. And if you're not a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and you're benefiting by us bringing people here. So I really want to make that point. And not to beat people up over it, because again, this organization has had its ups and downs. And there are people that are negative about it. And you know something? They're kind of right in a lot of ways. And I remember it. I was there myself at certain times over the years. So we just have to show them, right, Ginger? We're going to show them, right? And I also want to encourage you, if you have anyone that you think is going to, like, hey, this guy should be a member. Wendell did it this morning. He sends me a text at 6:30 in the morning. Dude, what do you...
Wake up.
Right? But he does, but he sends me, like, he's like, you should go talk to the guy at Splinters. Like, that guy's in. And I knew he was. He wants. And I saw him yesterday afternoon, actually. John Jameson called me up and said, dude, I had this great meeting with Tracy over at GMVS. You should call her. 2 days later, I have a meeting with her. I think they're going to join. I feel really good that they're going to join, which is really, it's a huge organization to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce. And the bottom line is, they'd never been asked. So it's a lot of little things. So I won't drone on anymore. I'm really excited about the prospects and the opportunities here. For me personally, I'm like super excited. This job is like really cool. And I'm a little scared because I feel like there's a lot of pressure. And I think Ginger said a while back, she's like, wow, you must be under a lot of pressure. Remember that? Yeah. And you remember what I said? I'm like, I said, this ain't pressure. I said, the idea of Mad River shutting down on my watch, that was pressure. Yeah. This is not, for me, it doesn't seem like a lot of pressure. This is a joyful thing for me. This is where I can try to help my community out and try to bring more people here in a really positive way. So I want to thank the board again. Ginger, thank you so much. You've been awesome. I don't know what I would have done without you. Thank you to the members, Flatbread, everyone for coming today. Last bit of housekeeping things, cash bar, another half hour followed by dinner. Raffle items are in the entryway, so people know about that, right? Anything you want to say about that? Nope. All right, so people are aware. A couple of reminders. The Valley Art Photo Show was hung today. Thank Gary. You're there, right? Gary
Gary put these up, and he did it early and put them up today. So it would be ready for us. Thank you so much for doing that. And what's really impressive, if you notice, everything's super straight. I didn't know that you use like lines. That's pretty cool. That was smart. Work smarter, not harder. The Bundy Gallery is having an opening reception on Friday. Right? Did I get that right? And they didn't put it on Facebook because that's for losers. Right? Is that okay? Worthy Burger is having their party in the yard with the Grift on Sunday. So if you missed G20 at Mad River, you can go see them on Sunday down there. The 22nd. Oh, it's the 22nd. Thank you. Sorry about that. Oh, I did write that. Sunday, but I didn't say the 22nd. Norwich 200, it's 4 days, the 18th to the 22nd of September. It's the following week. And then Yestermar's Tiny House Festival is October 26th, which is awesome. And this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. This is October 26th. No one's around on October 26th. These guys are going to be bringing about 5,000 people. Thank you, Brad. 5,000 people to the Valley in the end of October. That's awesome. And those are the kinds, if we can identify a couple more things like that, we'd be golden. So yeah, I guess this one I'd just like to open up if there's any questions that anyone might have about what we're doing. I'm sorry if I droned on and on. Nothing?
So I'd just like to add a couple of things. Number one, Eric, thank you very much. It's just great to have you
No worries.
on board.
Thank you.
I think one of the things you're all aware of is Eric's enthusiasm is infectious, and I think it's really great for the chamber. I think it's great for the Valley to have Eric now as our cheerleader. So thank you. And one group that didn't get a thank you tonight.
Yes. Wait, can I do it because I know what I forgot?
Okay, you do it.
I don't know if everyone is aware. Like I said, our visitor center is enormous. Okay. And how many people come in there on a daily basis? And we have two of our volunteers here, Sarah, and where's Marie? Oh, do you like Sarah and Marie? I'm so sorry. You guys, we have, and Charlie's around every Friday from like 1 o'clock on, like religiously. And these folks, they don't get paid. They do such valuable work. Maria's out cleaning the whole place up. Sarah's working on our database. I mean, we wouldn't be able to run without you guys. And so, and she loves it. But not enough to make you stay for the winter, though, right? You're staying for the winter, right? But thank you so much. Is that what you were going to say? Okay, see, I nailed it.
So, any other questions? Otherwise, it's time for drinks. Brad?
So Eric, may I suggest that you update your LinkedIn account and link to the Mad River Chamber?
Okay. I must admit, Brad, I'm not a big LinkedIn guy. And I don't use Twitter either. But I will. Yes, I probably should. Why, you think I'm looking for another job?
Anything else? So if that's it,
All right.
a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Brad, second. All in favor?
Aye.
It is time for drinks and some
Cool.
music, and then we'll start.
Nicely done.